big rock. It's a hill place that's just behind the town square. Looks like there was once a house here. Here you got these steps leading up to nothing. Probably a house was here. Main Street direction. You see the yellow house. Nice sky. Spring day, lilac trees blooming in a little old house with a shambled down little old stone wall. It was never a great wall, it was made of cement. And there's a little path down here, which goes where? It goes down to that street. Interesting. Now if we go back here, behind this hill. This is just the other side of Main Street. The other side of this hill is Main Street. I wouldn't say it's a lot of traffic, but it's a busy little area. People constantly driving down one or the other. Flowers here. And then there's this hill, and this is the other side of that hill. Daylilies there, and some old timber, all this trash, all this fucking trash here. And it looks like recently they've been cutting down trees here, which is a bit of an annoyance. Maybe the trees weren't in great shape. But it looks like there were trees all up in here, and now the city probably come and cut the trees down, and who knows if they're planning to probably do some kind of construction here sooner or later. Some shit will be built here. But for the moment, it's a nice little abandoned wild area with these mustard flowers. Very nice, and these little white flowers. These are the same plants that grow out in the little woods behind my building. And up here, the old cemetery. This is the first cemetery in the town of Woburn from 1632. Here you go. There's a monument right there, a big one. And all the smaller wind, you can hear the wind, I'm sure. All the smaller little old stones from the 1600s and 1700s. 150 years. This was the first cemetery in this town from 1642 to 1790. So 150 years people in this town buried people here. There's a church you can see maybe in the background. I think it's a Congregationalist church or something. The library, okay, that's the library over in that direction. That beige colored squarish building. Is that the library? I think that's the library. I'm pretty sure that's the library. But you know what, it might not. The library might be. I think that is the library. So it's a nice, pleasant day up here in this quiet area that is pretty much just abandoned. And so it's just you come up here alone, there's lots of trash. Now, it would be fairly simple to come up here with some trash bags and clean this area up. All I need is, one little spring cleanup day with a dozen volunteers coming up here. They could clean this all up in an hour. Sure. In an hour it should be spotless. But right now it's littered with litter and trash, and they've come up, and as you can see the smaller trees they've left growing, but they cut down the larger ones. Why do they fucking do that? I guess they think it's kind of a hazard. They can't have here's another nickel. Pepsi bottle. They figure if trees are too big, people will hang out here and bad things will happen. What is this pile of shit that just was dumped here as a big, but some truck, and now it's all overgrown with all these plants. There's these bags of trash lying around here. Somebody bagged them up, or you know what? Somebody dumped. They like brought this trash and just dumped it up here. I don't know why. Or maybe some kids came. I don't know. I don't blame everything on kids. I don't know who dumps his bags of stuff. It's a cute looking little mound that's grown up with all these. I think that's a list. I'm not sure, but it's very cute. The yellow flowers that have sprung up on these plants, just naturally growing on this mound. Nature taking over. And this lamb's ear plants. And these are bags of trash and tires put up in plastic bags. Here in this big rock. Here's this big rock. Here's this big rock, and on the other side of that is Main Street. But it's nice and quiet and peaceful back here. It would be really cool to be able to buy this little area and just have your own peaceful little. Just have a little shack here. Just have your own little shack right on the other side of Main Street. Nobody would know. In this secluded little. It's wonderfully secluded by this boulder area. And on the other, if you climbed up the hill and you look down, you'd see the whole Main Street. Let's do that. Let's climb up and look down. Yeah. Stop too much. Well, maybe I won't stop. Keep recording. Hopefully it's recording and not just pretending to record. Sometimes I'm not sure. Look at all these little leaves on this maple. Fresh leaves on this maple tree. Here's this rock we're going to try to climb up. Climb the rock. Hold on to the trees. Yeah, little path people climb here. I've never been up here before. Here's a little tarp. Someone had some camp out here. They had no place to sleep. Someone had no place to sleep when it was spring or summer. You could sleep out here. There's some more steps. Natural steps. Whoa, here we are. King of the castle. The top of the hill. A number one. Top of the heap. Start spreading the news. So there's one big tree left on the top. I'm coming today. Another decent little tree. I want to be a part of it. Woburn. Yeah, great. This is a great perspective. The whole top of the hill. Down here on this side, you see one tree. I'm not expecting anybody up here. It feels relaxed and comfortable. Not too threatened by me. Just kind of looking at me. But not too concerned. Not used to having to deal with people up here. So here's this little secluded back area, and here's the front area. There's this little park down at the base of this on Main Street. See how much noisier it is just with the trucks when you're up here. There's the yellow house. My house is just up behind the yellow house, sort of. Nice, beautiful day up here. Over here is my bank. Honk, honk. See all this traffic noise, you don't hear it when you're just on the other side of the rock. There's my bank with the big parking lot. There's the dollar store. Do you see Family Dollar there? And way behind there, there's CVS, and then behind there is this parking lot. And in the back of the parking lot is the bowlodrome, the bowling alley. So over here, then there's the church. This is the town square. That is the city hall behind the flag. Not sure if that's city hall or city whatever offices. And here, and there's the library. It's a nice, beautiful hilltop perspective of the whole town, center of town. And this ridge, this rocky ridge that keeps it all secluded on the other side, down these natural steps here. And you're walking down steps like this, a tree is always a good thing to be able to hold on to. That, just so you don't slip too much. And here, suddenly it's quiet again. There's a little grassy area here. On these natural. Now, all of a sudden, this boulder, oh yeah, all that traffic noise. Suddenly it's quiet and secluded. If you go down and grab a tree. Yeah. Okay, this is going to be a little more difficult. A little more difficult. But not too bad. Not too bad. Natural step formation. All the traffic noise is gone behind this rock. So, now on the other side of this little area is the old cemetery. The old burial ground from 1642. And right behind the historic burial ground is all this trash just lying here. Trash. It would take an hour for even half dozen people to come clean up all this stuff. Nice dandelions. Little white flowers here. So now we come out into the cemetery area. Little gate here. Here's the old cemetery on this old hill. Let's go see what's up with that big bird. Now this is the cemetery. A few, maybe once in a while, but generally this is a quiet area where you can just be alone. You're not going to have enough fighting crowds in the cemetery. Some of these people have been here for almost 400 years. People lying down there. Almost 400 years. Now here, you can see the stone area from behind them. And here's another 5-cent Pepsi bottle. Glittering here. Well, what does this monument have to say? Oh, that's right, yes. Okay, so that wasn't the library. The library is the market ground building on the other side. And what this is all about? There's not a Pepsi bottle. What's the point of that? This monument says, almost faded. 1807. October 20th, 1807. It's a monument to somebody in 200 years ago. So, 200 years is a long time to be lying up here. Though not that long. I've been around for 50 years. It's 1/4 of the time. There's not a lot of graves here. This is one. Looks like maybe 150. Doesn't look like more than 150 graves up here. Morning dove. So, And these are pretty faded, pretty broke, a lot of broken stones here. Now this one you can see that the stone itself broke off, and the rest of it lying on the ground. Body of Joshua Sawyer, who died Anno Domini, and it's grown up. The rest of this thing is grass is growing around it. So it's pretty sad, and people thought these slate stones would last forever, but they don't. Here lies buried the body of Dr. Jonathan Hayward, who departed this life August 13th, 1749. Died 45 years old. A doctor who died at 45 years old in 1749. 300 years old people alive. 25 years before the colonies had a revolution. So this guy thought of himself as an English colonist. Independent American. There lies the body of Zechariah Snow, son of Mr. Timothy, departed September 21. Over here, there is this Patriots Day. Some of the places fairly recent, but not too long right here, but a year ago. And the stone is much different type of a stone. It looks like, I don't try to guess what black stone is, though it's probably obvious. Much newer looking than the other old slate stones in here. There's here buried the body of Mr. Asahel Porter, who was slain in Lexington battle on the 19th of April, 1775. Although a man of peace, he was caught in a conflict not of choosing. As a result, he became one of the first to die for his new country, Baldwin Historical Society, 1975. Well, that explains why it looks so much newer. This was placed here in 1975 on the bicentennial. The bicentennial is when they placed this stone. This stone is only less than 40 years old. I mean, some of these others are 400 years old. So, whether he even thought of himself as dying for his new country, how would he know when that was the first battle of the whole war? He had no idea whether America became a separate country or not. He never heard of the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was written over a year after he died. What he really thought about dying. How purposeless did he probably feel that his dying was? Probably just about as purposeless as anybody being shot on a city street today. Thinks this is meaningless. Why am I dying? This is ridiculous. That's probably what Mr. Asahel Porter actually was thinking about when he died on April 19th of 1775. Those are probably what I imagined his actual thoughts about dying were. And as far as, we have a notion that this is going to be the beginning of the Revolutionary War. Today is a shot heard around the world, and this is the beginning of the war for independence. Mr. Porter had no way of knowing that. No fucking way of knowing some of it. There's another old one. Here lies buried the body of Lieutenant Samuel Kendall, who departed his life December 13, 1764 at 83. See, now he died at the age of 83 in 1764. So he was born around 1681. lived his whole life in this English colony here in Woburn, Massachusetts. English Puritan colony. Never really imagined the independence of the United States. Of America. None of these people ever heard of the United States of America. First burial ground, 1642 until 1794. Daniel Thompson and Asahel Porter, both casualties of the battles of Lexington and Concord, lie interred here, and many important early Woburnites. And somebody put a sort of a wreath thing with a little doll, a little Barbie doll. I don't know why. All right, so here's another one, 1775 to 1783. In Memoriam, Revolutionary Soldiers, Park Street Burial Ground. So apparently two of them, well, let's see, 1775, 1776, 1776, yeah, I guess a number of them must have died in the war, because these must be their death dates. This one is 1807, 1792, 1794, 1779, but 1779, 76, 76, 76, 75, 76. It looks like 1, 2, 3, and 75. Looks like there's two 75s, which those are the noted ones that died on April 19th. These two 75s, we know they died on the very first day. Then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 dates of 1776. So next year, 4 more Woburn people died in this war that they never knew. They never saw the outcome of it. They never knew that they were the United States of America. None of those people were the United States of America. There's a view of the church in the center of town. And here's another plaque. What does this one say? Strange place to have your own little grave all by yourself. Mr. Israel and Mrs. Hannah Reed, who died December 9, 1727, aged 10 years, wanting 9 days. Well, that's odd. Body of Elizabeth Reed. Elizabeth Reed dies here, and she's 9 days before her 10th birthday in 1747. She was born in 1737. And she's got this little grave all by herself, this little 10-year-old girl over here by the steps. It's rather sad. And this plaque says, alright, let's go around in the plaque. This plaque says, in memoriam to Edward Thomas, how he was born in 1590. 1630 at the age of 40. Now it's a windy day, and you probably can't hear anything I've been saying because I've been talking too quietly. I'm going to walk down this street here. I'm going to walk down this street now. To find the apartment house. Oh, yes, here we go. Here's where the street branches off. And this house should be just at the other end of this street here. Not too far. It's a windy, cool, windy day. Beautiful clouds and everything. This is quite a little side street called Center Street. Consider ourselves with that. So we'll just walk down this Park Street until we reach the house that we may be living in a week or two. In a week or two, we may be living on this street. Fun, fun, fun. Yes, a very breezy day. Windy, breezy, pleasant dandelions. Speed limit 20 miles per hour. And there's even a nice little wooded lot here, which you know will be built up with a house in the next few years. It's almost certain somebody will buy this. Almost entirely certain somebody will buy this plot of land and build a house there. It's almost definite. But for now, this is sort of like a little piece of a trail all by itself. That's nice. I'm sure there's trash to be picked up there. Here's a little playground from my house. Whose playground? Is this a public playground? It looks like a public playground, for Christ's sake. Got a trash barrel. It looks like a strange little public playground with a bench and a little wooded lot behind it. And here's the house we've been looking for, where we may be living in a week or two. Down this street. A nice little quiet street. In a sense, kind of quiet. Here's this house. You want to move to this house? You want to live in this house? Not bad. Would be better than where we're living now. Most likely. Living in this house would be better than where we're living now. Flag, and here's a street called Flag. Here's a street called Flag. It's a cute little street with a cute little house with fence and trees. What do you call it? There's a parking lot, driveway, parking lot. There's a little wood area next to the house. Here's the house. And I like the and the wind chimes. 4 units in this house. We're gonna feel stuck here. We're gonna wish I'd stayed. We're going to wish I'd stayed. On Wind Park. Possible. Wish. Possible. But it does feel more like a residential area. As we walk down this here little old street, you can see some of these nice little old houses. That's what I'll say about them. I'd say they're nice little old houses. Not magnificent houses. But any one of them would be comfortable.